Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of Adobe Max. Thanks for waiting. I know you are all waiting in the queue for the last 20 minutes or so, or some of you were. Here we are on Adobe Live for Max Chats. This session is going to be all about creatives live streaming. So live streaming for creatives. My name is Gus Martin, and I'll be your host. I'm the content and community manager for the Adobe Live team, and I'm joined by the one and only Ryan Selvy, who is an amazing artist himself, a live streamer, and also the live streaming associate for the Behance team. Do you want to say hi to everyone, Ryan?
Hey, good afternoon and good morning to those of you on the West Coast. It's great to be here.
Thanks, Ryan. Okay, so we're going to get right into all of the fun stuff today. I know you've all seen some really awesome announcements yesterday around live streaming and that being now a feature in a lot of our iPad apps. And we're going to get into all of the nitty gritty. But first, we want to just show you quickly the schedule for today. As you know, you just watched sneaks right before us, which was super cool. I would love to know what your favorite sneaks were. You can drop them in chat. Mine was probably 2D Plus. I thought that perspective tool was really cool. But also later today, as you can see, we have a bunch of segments, so you won't want to miss those. Right after this, we have the one and only Michael Shays live for making the most out of Creative Cloud. And then obviously we've got more challenges today, some portfolio reviews, so make sure you mark your calendars for that. Speaking of, we have a really nifty bit.ly that you can check out. It's bit.ly/maxchats2020. You'll have to do the capitalization just the way you see it on the screen. But if you do that, you'll find all of the Adobe Live sessions and you can add them to your Max calendar. That way you don't miss them. So feel free to do that. And without further ado, let's get into the live stream today.
All right, you want to start it off with a high five?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, we actually did it. It actually worked.
Oh, Ryan, we got to say hi to everyone in chat. I almost forgot.
Oh yeah, of course.
All right, who do we got here? We've got Cody Bear, the one and only. Chad Rolfs is there. Jeremy's in the chat. Bojana, Kara, Kasim, Keely, Ivan, Sam Peterson, the one and only. There's many one and onlys, I know. Jack Watson's here. Paco's in the chat. Pac-Man, the Savior, Hayden, Kathleen, Vincent, Noor. Thanks for being here. This is really awesome. Okay, do you want to say hi to anyone, Ryan?
There's so many familiar names there. So a big hello to everybody. We got a lot of streamers in there as well. Got that we'll be talking about throughout the presentation. So excited to share and put some names out there for you guys.
Yes.
But without further ado, let's talk about live streaming on Behance. So live streaming is now recently a new feature that we've been working on for a while. It's all Adobe presenting live streaming. And over the last 5 years, we have worked to create a live streaming presence with Adobe, and it's continued to adapt and it's continued to change, and with the times continue to progress, and excited to walk through what that looks like.
Yeah, just jumping in quickly on that note, it's been really amazing to see. And actually some people in chat, Jan Eric being one of them, Tim being another, Sam, Voodoo Val, Cody, we've seen a huge evolution of live streaming over the last few years. And until this week, it's been about Adobe producing live streams and elevating community members through Adobe Live, which has been super awesome and very rewarding. We're really excited to announce on top of that now, anyone can live stream to Behance. And so we're going to talk about both of those today. So just a little bit of framing around what you can do. We'll also talk a little bit to yes, live streaming is amazing, but it might not be for everyone. We also want to tell you about why it's just amazing to be a viewer and to watch them and to get involved at a community level. So if you aren't interested in live streaming, this still might be a good segment for you.
Absolutely. And with that, let's take a sneak peek at the past live streaming with Adobe. So it all started out in 2015 with Adobe Live, and since that, to Gus's point, really been elevating different artists with hosted segments between two people most often, going through all different things from web design to graphic design, illustration, photo editing, the whole gambit. But as Gus said, you can now go live off of your own profile with our iPad apps, and also soon all just desktop. So this is an example of a few of the streamers that we've had up to this point that have been testing out the service and really making a new home on Behance and other Adobe platforms to live stream their creative process. And here are some of the lovely faces that we have. We are also behind me. We have Dev Creative Genius and Chris Hall Draws, which will be popping up later. But
yeah, I think I saw Andre on there. There's Natalie. We had Jack. There's Colby. Some of them are in chat right now too, which is really awesome. So as you can tell, we've been trying to make a community on Behance just for live streaming, and now we're just opening the floodgates, which is really cool.
So we wanted to take some of the time since we're talking about streamers to go through just a few different highlights of the different type of people that are streaming on Adobe's platforms. Andrew McAllister is the first one that I want to bring up. He is a professor at the Ontario College of Art and Design. And he uses his platform to host a thing called Desk Lunch. And Desk Lunch is an hour-long segment that he has during lunch. And he goes over everything from audio equipment to editing to just professional production and bringing your products to the next level. He also likes to talk about education and how we can adapt our services to change with the times. And he uses his time to answer questions and figure out different ways that the world is changing and how you can embrace that entirely. And he does it all live, so you can talk to him while he does it.
Yeah, on that note too, I'm going to keep chiming in, so just tell me to stop if we're getting behind. But
absolutely not.
Andrew represents a group of educators that are on Behance that are sharing their process from an educator's perspective. So it's highly valuable. It also helps other people that are educators. We also have a bunch of students on there live streaming already, Natalie being one of them who you saw earlier. And then we have like a group of featured live streamers that includes folks like Ryan and people that have been live streaming now for the last several months. So if you do decide to live stream to Behance, anyone watching that isn't currently live streaming, you'll be entering into a community of people that are already doing it and experimenting with it and developing communities. So that's always really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's one of many. We also have a few other like Lisa and Chena, which we will also be highlighting later. But there's Andrew for you. Moving on, also want to talk about Andre. He's an Adobe Creative resident who's been streaming. He's a fantastic photographer that really focuses in portraiture. And what he does in his streams is he brings up different photo shoots, and he'll bring up all of his photos from the entire shoot. He'll walk through the shoot. He'll say how he picks his favorites. He'll go and he'll rank different photos. He'll tell you why some photos are better than others, why he prefers like the lighting in one versus the other, and how he uses Adobe programs like Bridge to really organize and figure out his process. He then also goes and will edit, as you can see in this little clip that we have here, and he shows you different techniques that he uses to make his photos what they are. And you can also check out his Behance at b.net/Andre.
Yeah, Andre's the man. He's been doing a bunch of cool live streaming. And for those of you that don't know, Andre was also a creative resident for Adobe and did some really cool work for Adobe. And yeah, he'll be around Behance quite a bit.
Side note, when I was originally talking to Andre, when we were figuring out live streaming and testing out the service, we were talking on the phone. It was during quarantine. And we realized about 20 minutes into the call that we were about a block apart, and we had no idea. So Andre is also my neighbor, and I can't support him enough.
Did you have one of those moments where you're like, did we just become best friends?
Exactly. But we become best friends that can't see each other, but it's okay. It's fine.
Exactly. Eventually.
Hopefully. I also wanted to bring to the forefront Rachel Ashley. She's a phenomenal prop and character designer that we have here. She streams predominantly from Fresco. We'll be going into a little bit how easy it is to go live from the iPad apps, Illustrator, Fresco, and Photoshop. And what she does is she'll normally pick a subject. In this case, it'll be a dog, and she'll really exhaust in the best possible way different formations of the same thing. And she'll go off of different recommendations from the audience. It's also really helpful because since she works in the industry, she lives out in California, she has some insider info on how the process works, like the best way to get out there, how to format your portfolio, and then also just gives you a great insight on what it takes to add so many variations to something when you're just trying to concept a character or a prop. And she streams late, and I love it. And
to all the night owls out there.
Enough. To all the night owls.
No, that's true though, and I'm glad you spoke to that point around it being really valuable for the viewers as well. Around like you can get really amazing career insights and ideas and inspiration from other creatives who are just looking to share their process. So you should check it out.
And that's a great segment because I will say that the community on Behance is my favorite community online. Everyone is so welcoming across all ages, across all skill sets, and across all mediums. So, for example, we have Rachel, who is a 20-something living in California, but we also have the same exact subset of people with Alistair. And Alistair's been in the industry, and he has worked tirelessly through so many different professions, and it's really good to have his insight as a professional that has already matured and had the experience of it, and then have Rachel, who is still somewhat new, and have everybody come and talk together. It's created some really interesting collaborations. It's created some really interesting friendships, and you can always see that in the chats. You can see that in the Discord, which we'll be talking about in a little bit. And I really want to talk also about the collaborations. So we're going to play a video between Alicia and Gaten, who's also known as Freshcake, and see how Behance streaming, Adobe live streaming brought them together.
We've got Freshcake in the chat right now too.
Medusa, Ephasos, Ashalala, Susus, Minerva, Ecobus. I love it when you couscous. Aphrodite, Ventus, Chaos, Dionysus, Hera, Hermes, Icarus, Narcissus, Medusa, Ephasos, Ashalala, Susus, Minerva, Ecobus. I love it when you couscous.
All right. Yeah. So they got to create something together. It was really cool seeing Alicia go through her entire process, all the way from concepting and doodling over top of a little 3D model she made, to printing it out, cutting out, assembling it, photographing it, editing it, and then passing it off to Freshcake. Freshcake taking that asset, incorporating it into his overlay, which we also have a segment on in a little bit. And then taking that and adding his own flair to it with sketching and bringing it together all together in Adobe Fresco.
Yeah, Ryan, we've got Alicia and Freshcake in chat right now. They're hyping it up.
Make sure you guys. Yeah,
so it's really nice to see you, and thanks for sharing your work with us. I think this is definitely a celebration of everything that you all are doing in the community. So you both are great people and great creatives. Also, Wade's in the chat. Hey, Wade. Okay, just wanted to chime in with that.
Sure. And then another one we want to go off is Twosenseless and Pez, which are two great artists also on Behance. Diane, Twosenseless, is a monster creator, and she loves to create horror and monster characters, which fits perfectly considering her birthday is on Halloween. So if she's in the chat or if she's around, make sure you say happy birthday to her because it's coming up soon. But we have her working on a concept character that she then passes over to Pez, who takes his take on the character as well. So let's go ahead and let's play that video.
That was so cool. It's really nice to see Twosenseless. She's in the chat, and Pez is as well. Getting the highlight here. Super cool work. And Ryan, props to you for putting all of these videos together.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure. I got to go through a lot of my favorite streamers and a lot of their past streams. When you go live on Behance, it automatically will save it to your profile, which is really great. And then you can go back and you can look up different assets that people have used. You can use their tool timeline, which we'll also be talking about in a little bit. And it's just really great being able to build a new kind of portfolio alongside your own work.
Yeah.
Pez and Twosenseless have been in this for months now and have really made a home and really helped build the community of what it means to be a streamer on Behance.
I think we've said it many times already, but please, if you're watching, go to these URLs you see on the screen, be.net/Twosenseless and Pezorama, and give them a follow, and you'll be notified when they go live. And that way you can interact with them when they're doing their thing.
And I think that's one of the best parts for me when I'm experiencing live streaming is not only do I get to see how people are working and the process that goes into everything, but I also get to be the little guy on their shoulder or somebody who just gets to watch them work and ask different questions that come to mind or get different tips that are unique to me because it creates a very intimate experience between the viewer and the creative live streamer. I will say that this has really shone a light on communities that are working together to create together. And we're going to bring up Madeleine Bellowar, also known as Maddie on Behance, be.net/Maddie. And what she's really found success in is doing paint togethers. And she will come up with a prompt and get a reference image. Sometimes it'll be from Google Images, sometimes it'll be Google Maps, and they will all work together. She sometimes streams up to 5 or 6 hours, and they will sit down. She's delightful conversation, but she also is immensely talented, where she'll just be talking away and creating this masterpiece. I often say that like Maddie and Sticky and a few others, I'm convinced that they hire somebody else to draw while they talk because there's no way that I can make that connection.
I don't get it. It's so hard. It's so hard to do.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
So we're gonna queue up another video with Maddie.
Really quickly, Ryan, before we play it, I want to say hi to some folks in chat. So I see Steve's in there. I saw Kevin Lee, many-time Adobe Live guest, awesome designer. My brother Zach is in the chat, and his wife Anshay. Thanks for joining. Good to see you. We've got Shauna, another live streamer for us on Adobe Live and on Behance in the chat. Leon Ingram is trolling us by asking if Twitch is a game. Good to see you, Leon. Leon and I got best friend haircuts together last year at Creative South. That was awesome. You're the man. Yeah, I just wanted to say hi to everyone. We did have one question too about, are all of the Behance streams embedded YouTube videos? And I think it's a good question and worth addressing really quickly. So the way that it works when you go live directly to Behance from your Behance profile is it actually isn't through YouTube, it's through our own servers. So it's run through Behance, it's saved on Behance as its own video player, and it's not, through YouTube the same way that you're consuming the Adobe Live video right now.
Yeah, and to that point, it's also pushed straight from your iPad apps. So when it's going through the tubes and going through the Behance, it all goes to the same place and will end up on your profile, which is really nice. So as long as you have your Creative Cloud login, you can stream from all these different places and it'll all end up together, which is really nice.
Yes. Cool. Okay.
Great.
I think we're ready for the video now, but we
right.
have even more people in chat. Man. Okay.
All right, well, we're gonna get started on the next painting. I'm gonna set the timer for 2 hours for this one. All right, so I'm gonna start off with a sketch, as usual. And anybody watching, you guys are always welcome to join in. If you don't have time today, you're welcome to join in another time. I stream here every Wednesday, and I do group painting practice sessions, and I always share the reference image that I use, and anybody's welcome to paint along. You can always keep it private if you don't feel comfortable sharing. That's fine too. It's just for practice. This cow has a lot of personality. It's not a cow, it's a yak. Okay, it's a yak, thank you. I love it. I like the texture, like the hairy, furry texture. It feels almost like a logo or something. Like this feels like some kind of branding. For what? I'm not quite sure. Maybe for something rustic, like, I don't know, firewood or something. It has a professional vibe. I like it, Pavlos. Lee Art, thank you for painting with me. As usual, your values are really, really good. I feel like I'm looking through some of those glasses that like look cool, but then the world is filtered into a different color. Yeah, like night vision. I really like the pops of like this deep blue purple right here in the shadows. It feels more like oil paint. There's like this blended, sort of like wet blended feeling. Yeah, Eva, this one was really hard. I don't know what it was a combination of, but this one was really tough. So major props to you for painting this one and sticking with me. Thanks everyone for the company and the nice comments, and yeah, for painting with me.
Thanks, Maddie. Great job.
I mean, always a freaking beautiful, beautiful end result. You see that when she just like moves it to the side, and all of a sudden there's just this gorgeous yak that she has somehow brought into existence. I don't understand it. And even in that live stream, she was kind of going on about how she was having really hard time with that specific prompt. She just will normally do a lot of landscapes, and for whatever reason, that one she said was difficult. But
I think gorgeous yak is pretty challenging. So
yeah, right.
She nailed it. She nailed it.
But it was also.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, you do. Okay,
you got it.
It was also really great just to see how much interaction there was, and the ability to work alongside one another and get instant feedback off of things that you're creating as a community. There is an individual that is the streamer, but the stream is really not anything without the community that's there. And everyone coming together, whether you stream or you're just in the chat, whether you draw or you don't draw. She says in the video, she says you can draw and you don't have to share it. It's just here for practice. And I've noticed instantly with the Behance community that everyone is so welcoming and encouraging towards just improving yourself. And it doesn't matter if you've never drawn before or if you've been painting for 40 years. I personally did a series of streams over the course of a month of doing portraiture, and our friend Twosenseless actually helped me out a great deal as I took on that challenge, and it was something that I wasn't very comfortable with, but I put it out there and I continued to work on it, and I got better, and it was amazing just having other artists coming to the chat, and there was no judgment. It was just, this looks awesome, you can improve this, you can work on here, try this, even as much as some people coming in and upon them asking if it's okay, drawing on top of my piece and sending it back.
Yep. I mean, it can be scary to put yourself out there, right? Like, I mean, even on social media platforms, sometimes you'll labor over like a Instagram stories post or something. So the idea of like going live and showing your canvas as you create and like all of the messiness of the process is scary. So it's really comforting to know that the people at Behance that are watching they're just awesome. Like, they just want to help you out and help you create cool artwork. So that's hopefully the community we continue to foster and create as we move forward through this year.
Absolutely.
I want to give some shout outs real quick. We've got Sticky in the chat, Brandon Gross. Good to see you both. Who else did I see in there? Oh yeah, Sarah.
Georgina.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Georgina's in there. Good to see you, Georgina.
She's another educator.
Dorina is a longtime viewer. Good to see you, Dorina. There was a question around, yeah, it's available on iPad, but what about desktop? And Sarah shared a link in chat that you can go to request live streaming access on desktop. It is available. You just have to request and get approval. So you can do that. The intention is, as this year goes on, to allow desktop streaming to everyone. We're working on that right now. But for right now, iPad's open to everyone. You have to request desktop. And we're going to go through all of those details here in a little bit.
Great. We're excited to have everybody who's interested in starting to stream. You can go live right now on any of the iPad apps. So if it's something that you're really itching to do, you can do that without approval per se. But if you're looking to do desktop, just fill out that form and we'll get to it as quick as we can.
Yep. Oh, and there was a question about, can I go live to Behance and other platforms at the same time? And yeah, I mean, so far, I think people have been experimenting with that. If you go live directly from the iPad, then it's just going to go live to your Behance account because it's built in and really easy. You just literally hit a couple of buttons. But if you go live from your desktop, you can use services like Restream to create a broadcast that goes to multiple places.
That's great. And we really like to encourage the idea of making a home at Behance. And also making it work into your regular ecosystem. So we understand that there's a lot that goes into a social media presence, especially when you're branding yourself. I personally use a lot of Twitter and Discord, Instagram as well. And it's nice having Behance as like a community hub where I can push towards my live streams and post a lot of my work. And then you go out and you work with your community elsewhere and you come back. So restreaming and streaming to other services completely makes sense and can work into your workflow. And we're happy to embrace it.
Heck yeah.
Another thing I want to touch on is the tool timeline, which is one of the reasons why in particular you will benefit from using Behance as a live streaming service. This is something that you'll only find here on Behance. And that gives you the ability of, not only does it automatically divide your creations into chapters that you can then later go back and actually edit if you want to make them more specific. But the really cool thing about it, and I have it pulled up here with Hayden, a fellow Micah alum, that you can go and you can see all the different process that goes into creating a piece. And I'm going to go and I'm going to drag my screen over here. But you can see that on his replay of this about 2-hour stream, it goes through and you can see every single brush stroke that he makes. You can see the size of it. You can see when he switches layers. And you can also go into these chapters. And if I wanted to see when he used natural brush 1 with size 23, I can click it and it'll automatically bring me to 59 minutes and 7 seconds when he uses that process. So you can get a better understanding of, you know, it's not magic. People really still have to use the same tools as you do, and just getting a better understanding of what that looks like. I also
Yeah,
love
I
this
think the
little
tool
segment.
timeline's really special. One thing that we consistently come up against with live streams is because of the length. Because, sometimes people will go live for, I mean, gosh, people have done 24-hour live streams before that I've seen, but usually like 3, 4, 5 hours isn't uncommon. It's hard to go back and watch it afterwards because you don't know exactly what to catch. So tool timeline makes that really easy, especially if you're looking for like pro tips on how to use specific tools or to do things within the app. And so on that note, that's something that we're looking at getting even better at as the year goes on anyways. Like, how do we make sure that those live streams are more accessible in post? And that can be like creating better chapters and using the tool timeline to drive them, or having like transcripts. There's a lot of really cool ideas out there. So just know we're working on it. We want to make that better.
Absolutely. Another really good point of being able to watch replays and reap their full benefits would be going back to our buddy Pezorama. And in this exact example that we actually even brought up with the collaboration between Twosenseless and Pez, is one of my favorite things that I've actually pulled out of watching streams. And if you look on his kneecaps, you can see that they're made of gold. Pez taught me this wonderful thing that you can use gradient maps as a means to create different metals. So what he has is, this is the replay of that exact stream. And if we go forward to when he goes down towards his kneecaps, he's working through using this gradient map and using whites and blacks that just automatically kind of create this beautiful, realistic gold, which I had never heard before. So shiny. So,
oh, Pez, you're a genius.
But the beautiful thing about it is that if you go over to info, he actually has the assets that he's talking about and using available for download. So all I have to do is click download and it'll pop up immediately. I can go to gradient maps and I can download and plop it right into my own Photoshop. And any streamer has the capability to upload any sort of assets that go along with their work. He also uploaded the sketch that goes alongside Twosenseless. And it also all lines up with his tool timeline. So if I want to go back and I want to see exactly how he used it or what went into the adjustments, I can just go ahead and click around and figure out what I need to figure out. It'll also continue to highlight it as it plays. It'll work its way down and auto scroll for you.
That's a really cool example. And I wonder how many downloads that asset's going to get now that we've let the cat out of the bag.
Oh, guys, it's awesome. It's so cool.
You should definitely download it and try it out. And that's one of the really cool parts about live streaming from a viewing perspective. If you see something and you like it, and especially if the streamer's nice enough to link some free assets for you, you can kind of get going and get started on it right away. Just download the asset and start trying it out. There was a quick question around what can you live stream from in terms of apps. Right now from the iPad, with like just clicking a couple buttons and linking your Adobe ID to your app, you can go live from Illustrator, from Fresco, and from Photoshop. And then if you have access to desktop live streaming, you'll use a service like OBS or Streamlabs or Wirecast to create a scene and broadcast it to your profile. And if you do that, you can live stream from any app that's on your screen, which is really cool. You can also do these neat things like Ryan has showed you so far around like overlays and lower thirds and having a camera. And we have some pro tips on that here in a little bit on how to spruce up your live stream once you get a little bit more advanced.
I can also see that Freshcake says that everything I make at this point forward will now have shiny kneecaps. And Santy Fox is saying for some nice themes, but Leon Ingram is saying shiny kneecap stream, please. So we'll be changing the rest of the stream today to just going over shiny kneecaps.
You know what? Let's do it. Hijacked.
But it doesn't end there, which is really cool. I keep talking about kind of this interaction between community and streamers and having these pro tips. As a viewer, you could really gain a lot whether you want to stream or not stream through getting pro tips and new approaches from artists over the simplest things to the most complex things. I believe it was Jack Watson that I was watching the other day, and she taught me that if you hold down Alt when you're using the Pathfinder in Illustrator, it can automatically turn it into a compound path. I've been using Illustrator for close to like 15 to 20 years now, and I had no idea that was a thing. And it just came so naturally. I was just hanging out in the stream, and it immediately turned into an educational experience for me. And that's what's really nice, is because you'll just be watching and having a good time. You'll be doing other work and having a live stream up, and you can learn things that completely change your workflow.
Yeah, that's true, Ryan. I'm actually curious if people watching have had that same experience in live streams. We have a term for them on our team. We call them aha moments. And there's sort of these like moments where people are like, wait, you do it that way? My life has changed forever. Like you've probably saved me 20 hours a week because I was doing it this other way, which was way more inefficient. So curious if anyone else has had those moments while watching live streams.
Which is exciting and also infuriating.
Oh, big time.
It's like I spent hours on that and I could have done it in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Like so frustrating, but also
Seriously.
that's how you learn.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, though, I'd love to queue up another video. We have a few instances of aha moments and education happening in the streams.
So notice your color picker, you have it on A, not H, which is default. Yeah. So quick thing here. Mine's a little bit differently. So my color picker is on A because it works better. So what this does is it just goes from cool to warm. So cool, warm, and then it's red and green. And then right here in the middle is like desaturated. So if I go to hue saturation brightness, we'll use green as an example. And green's a really hard color to use, by the way. If I start from a lower color and I just kind of go like brighter and brighter and brighter, that's what you get. Yeah, that's like your natural color kind of presentation. What it's missing though, it's missing temperature. And so the hue saturation actually solves that problem. So if I start from here and I go here, and if I go diagonally up, just like here, and I go up a little bit, it actually handles this idea of temperature. I'm gonna go up a little bit. And as I'm going up too, I actually go up a little bit more like that, and that's kind of how I handle it.
I always think about the action line. The action line is usually a line that indicates like what direction the character is going. This curve kind of defines like the rest of the character. That by itself helps me develop a silhouette. A silhouette will read easier than something that is like really detailed but has a very weak to silhouette. You still have an idea of what's actually going on. Without all of the color, all the detail defining things, you kind of know that, you know, this hand is from here, this is the fingers, this is back here, that stuff. If you're able to you're able to draw a strong silhouette, your character will read a lot better.
So, if you guys are new here, probably not, because I see a lot of regs, but we love you either way. Anyways, so what we do here is hand stretches. This is good for anybody who uses their hands regularly. So if you have hands, do these stretches. All right, so put your arms out in front of you straight, and then put your fingers to the ceiling and curl them down into what we call a monkey paw. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. That's real soothing, Anthony. And then we put our hands down, fingers down, and curl them in. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Wow, I really feel it on this one. Left hand,
yeah.
Why? Then flip your hands out, palms out, fingers down, curl your fingers in. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah.
You don't feel it the right way and this
Exactly.
makes the sound.
Really emphasize. And then the last pose is you put your palms to yourself, fingers up, and then curl them in. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. And these are the 4 poses that you basically just repeat, ideally up to 10 times.
We got our ooh, ooh, ah, ahs.
That was a lot of aha moments. Also, I am in love with Sticky's nickname, the bad boy Behance.
Well deserved.
So good.
Little
Oh, man.
embarrassed in chat. Oh, look, Anthony Sims is here, who was
Yeah.
right there on the bottom. He works alongside Anna to go through different chat and interaction in the stream. So a big shout out
Yes.
to Anthony Sims, who I'm
Hi,
trying
Anthony.
to get to live stream. Anthony,
We'll maybe after this stream, since we've hyped him up now. he'll
yeah,
try it
now
out.
he's famous.
Yes. You got to keep the momentum going, Anthony. Okay, cool.
So we're seeing a lot of technical questions. So I'd love to get into actually streaming from your iPad. We're going to be looking through Fresco, but the experience is pretty much ubiquitous between all of these apps. And it's very easy, requires minimal setup. All you really need is maybe some headphones and an iPad. So here at the beginning of your experience on Fresco, you'll just go and you'll create a new document or open an existing one. And at the top right, you'll see that there's a share button. You'll click that share button. And from there, a drop-down menu will appear. You'll hit the live stream button. And then this little dialog will pop up introducing you to live streaming and making sure that you have the correct profile that you want to stream to connected to your account. This will be the same one your Creative Cloud is attached to, and then your Creative Cloud will be attached to your Behance. So you want to confirm that that's the one that you want to stream to. Then you can go in and you add your description and your title to said live stream. This is what will be popping up. Just like you see down here, it says Max Chat, live streams for creative, and then under that, your description would be the want to live stream your creative process on Behance, yada, 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 yada. And then you can go, and this is when you can go to deactivate or activate both your camera and your microphone before going live. We have a lot of people that stream without a camera. We have a lot of people that stream with a camera. So it's really up to you, whatever you're most comfortable with. People find success in both ways.
Pro tip on the camera, if you have it on, I think if you have it on like a stand that allows it to kind of point at you a little bit better, the camera can be a little bit better than if it's just shooting straight up at your face. So
right up your
sometimes,
nostrils.
yeah, sometimes why people turn it off.
Yeah, just be like, I'm gonna draw this thing.
Got some bats in the cave, just chilling.
Yeah. Oh goodness. And then also you can go in, you can disable chat or prioritize your video if you want to do a test before you go live to the public. You can hit these little ellipses and go, and you can both disable chat and also turn off public, and then you can go and it'll just be private on your own hands.
Awesome.
And then you'll hit start broadcast. Everything that you see will start live streaming after the countdown, and you'll have this chat pop up that you can move around or you can collapse, but it won't pop up for people viewing. You'll have this live indicator, which will appear over your own selfie if you are doing a selfie video and a viewer account. And like I said, this will pop up and you'll be able to see it, but people watching on your stream won't be able to see it. They'll just be able to reference it off to the side, just like you guys are using now.
Pretty easy.
Your stream will be on your profile, behance.net/your username, or you can also link directly to it by doing .net/your username/live stream. That way, if people go, it'll automatically pop up. When you're done, you'll just hit the end button, and it'll give you a few prompts. It'll make sure that you really want to end it, so you don't accidentally hit it with your palm while you're drawing. And then also, it'll be followed up by a dialog menu. Just to adjust your live stream replay with your privacy settings to see if it's something that you still want on your profile, or if something went disastrously wrong. You said, "Oh, let's not do that thing where I accidentally burped while I was live streaming or something," which is normally completely welcome. But I don't know how you feel about yours.
We're all people. It's okay.
Exactly. And then just to go into one pro tip with stream from the iPad is it's very helpful to use headphones. For the main reason of just how the iPad is connected to the microphone. Since the microphone is built into the thing that you are drawing on, when you tap on it, you might hear a noise. So it's really helpful for both not covering it with your hand as you're holding the iPad to muffle your voice, and then also to decrease the sound of tapping on the iPad itself. If you wear headphones, it's really helpful to really make sure that your audience can hear you.
It's a really good pro tip. Good call. Good call. We've got a lot of interest and excitement in chat for live
that's
streaming.
great.
So this is really, really cool to see.
And then we're going to quickly do a very broad overview of this. By the way, both of this information for streaming on iPad and streaming on PC is available on Behance. Just look up live streaming on Behance and it should pop up in the help area. But just a very...
Or maybe we can get the mods to share it in chat real quick too, I think.
Oh, that would be awesome.
We've got some moderators around. They can grab it real quick. That'd be great. Thanks.
And this PC can get complicated, which is great. It's worth the investment for the learning curve. It's something that will suck you in. It's rabbit hole, Alice in Wonderland. Like you're like, oh, I'll just try it out and learn a thing here or there. I don't have to get too complicated. And then all of a sudden, you have custom bumpers and overlays and what have you. But just to give you a little idea of what it takes to stream on Behance, you're going to have to use a streaming broadcasting software like OBS or Wirecast. And when you download that, this is kind of your control panel that you'll see. You'll have your live stream, and then you'll have different scenes and sources and your audio mixer, and you can kind of switch between to show your desktop or show just your face or pull up a video or a reference. And then you port all that through by going to your profile, hovering over your avatar, clicking go live, and going to the dashboard. At the dashboard, you will get setting up your live stream, you'll hit get started, it'll give you a URL. You can fill out, this is where you'll have your chat, you'll be able to tag things. And this is where you will live when you're streaming. So this is the side that you'll see, and then your audience will see something that looks just like this. It goes into way more detail. I don't want to bog everything down with the nitty gritties, with keyframes and what have you, but we have all that information ready for you on our Behance help page. And
yeah, it's a super easy and nifty guide.
Yeah,
it's really easy.
It walks you through with pictures and everything. So it seems like a lot, but if you just dedicate a little time to it.
We have a couple questions and comments about OBS, and that's the recommended one, at least from our perspective. It's free, it's open source. There's a great community online that supports it, and it works really well with our platform. So we'd recommend using OBS, but the other ones work as well. You just have to finesse it a little bit. And then the other thing I want to mention is while you're in this hub, make sure you indicate some tags and some keywords in the program you use and add some metadata to it. And then that way people can find your live streams either during or after the fact. So just another pro tip on that front.
Through searches and also through recommendations. And you'll see that a lot of these streams have things that help you find other live streams that are currently live or replays. So that helps a lot when you fill it out.
Exactly.
And we're getting close to the end of our stream here, but just to quickly go through the end of a few things, we just wanted to go through a few different highlights of taking your stream to the next level. I just wanted to showcase a few of our favorite overlays that we have, from Freshcake to Megan Ponsavan. I should have practiced saying that name before I went through it. But we have Kara Sykes and Sticky, and they all find a new way to do the overlay that pertains to what brings which brings most of their personality to the forefront. Megan has cycling artwork, as does Shilin, and then we have some of these cute little mushrooms, and Kara has her pronouns, which are really great. Shiki also has something that cycles through. But you can add a lot of personality. Freshcake has a specific one for when he streams late at night. It looks like this, as opposed to when he streams during the day. It has a different outline. But you can really add a lot of personality to your own stream.
Yeah, I think it's worth reiterating for folks, especially if you're new, that this is probably the next level. You can totally live stream without the overlays, but it does make it a little bit more special. And it's honestly just kind of fun from an artist perspective, if you're creative, to kind of put your own stamp on the live stream. I mean, there's really no limit to what you can do there. We also have had people, I really liked Kara's pronouns. We've also had people indicate that they speak multiple languages, which can be really nice. Sometimes people will be watching live streams from a place that doesn't speak English. And if you happen to speak multiple languages, you can let people know, and then they can interact with you a little bit more easily. So just another pro tip on letting people know who you are and what you're about.
And then also I just want to talk real quickly. I saw actually even a few comments about it in chat, finding music. There are a lot of different solutions. You do need to do copyright-free music, just that's how the world works. But We have things like Harris Heller here. We have Pretzel Rocks, Artlist, Monster Cat. And these are all different approaches where you can pay for some and you can have them for free. Pretzel Rocks is entirely free, and it's all for stream-free music that they have a little Pandora radio-esque style to it, and you can go through different genres. It's really great to have. I personally use Artlist. I pay a subscription, and I have access to all these different sound bits of different songs that I can just download or play during stream. And then Monster Cat, which you probably actually know a few of the songs from. Some of them make them to the radio, and if you pay, I think, $5 a month, you can get access to their entire catalog and play their music on your stream. So there's lots of different solutions. These are just a few of them. Harris Heller is entirely free, and all of his stuff is on Spotify. He's a great stream doctor. He goes through a lot of streaming tips. So check out his YouTube if you're looking
Brian,
for information.
Was it 2 Chainz or one of the popular artists made like a streaming playlist for a free
Oh, did he really?
for people? It was like 2 Chainz.
Yes, you're right. I think
John.
he did.
So there, yeah, I mean, if you do some Google searches, you can find some fun stuff, and then that way, folks watching your stream aren't caught in a loop of like the same cafe song over and over again.
Exactly.
Not that that's bad, but sometimes it's fun to mix it up.
Yeah. Also, real quick, this is for PC streamers. You can green screen or not green screen. It's all up to you. Whatever works best in your instance. We have plenty of people, including myself, that use green screens, but then also like PixieQ or Anna or Day Creative Genius that find a really good way to incorporate it naturally into their overlay and still get the most out of their screen space.
We had a good question about closed captions. So after the fact, there's a transcript of the live stream available. While it's live, the actual player itself doesn't create closed captions yet. It's something we're working on. But some of the streamers have used third-party service that they run their audio through, and then they have automatic captions that they then show on their overlay using OBS. So there's definitely a way to get that done still. And it's done by a number of like the live streamers that are on Behance right now.
And then also a really good way to kind of organize is we have the ability to edit your thumbnail similar to YouTube for all your replays. So if you really want to go that extra mile, you can go through and go onto your Behance profile and you can edit your thumbnail so that way it's easily searchable. And also people get a good idea of the personality of the stream. I really love what Twosenseless does here for her Monster Monday. She has both kind of what she starts out with and where it gets to at the end of the stream. So when you hop in there, you kind of already have an expectation of what you're going to see and see how you get that final product.
Yeah, it's super, super cool. Great jobs with those thumbnails, Kara, Twosenseless, and Colby. Those look great.
We also highly recommend after you get into the swing of things, finding a schedule for yourself. And this is, once again, just something that brings you to the next level. Definitely not something that you have to do at the beginning. Just figure out if it's for you. Don't overcommit yourself. Enjoy it while you can. But it's also really helpful to create a different experience and regularity for your community, and just posting that you will be live on certain days at certain times, and just having that communication open with your audience so that regular viewers come back and they have something to look forward to.
Yeah, I think that's really important. It's just creating some relationships. I think live streaming in general is about relationship building. So just get some communication going. Let people know when you're going to be live and try to be consistent.
And then here's some of our starting soon, such as when you're getting ready to go. If you're looking to stream but you're not sure what to stream, we just threw a few of some ideas down, like warm-up sketches, a streamer Q&A, weekly challenge, concepts and process, plugins, draw requests.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe folks can. Oh, what? My camera go out?
Oh, there goes Gus, everybody. Later.
Okay. That's so weird.
Also, all right. Thank you guys so much. One more time for watching. I do want to encourage you guys to go to b.net/livestreaming for a good overview of a lot of different streamers to watch. Also get your weekly challenge and also Q&As that people have that they've provided. Also join the Discord, discord.gg/livestreaming, and you'll have a lot of community building and questions and help through other streamers just like you.
I have a fancy graphics on right now, so Sorry about that. But I just did want to add quickly that we hope that you feel inspired to check out this community, either as a live streamer or as a viewer. Behance is really, in my mind, hopefully the platform for creatives to share their process and get involved with one another when it comes to live streaming. So check out Adobe Live. That's where we elevate creatives every week. Check out all the streamers we featured on the stream today. Try live streaming yourself. Come say hi, learn something new, download some assets. It's just really a big ball of fun. So really appreciate you watching today and just being a part of the community.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. We look forward to having you.
Cool. Thanks, everyone.